Dear students, this PowerPoint on murder in the cathedral is made for the undergraduate students so as to help them prepare for the forthcoming examinations. I am Binu Marcus here, very happy to meet you all in this platform during this COVID-19 lockdown. Let us know the playwright first. I have already mentioned in my PowerPoint on the origin and development of English drama about T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot is a modern poet, playwright, critic, and an editor. You can see that he was born in America, but he chose to become an English by becoming a naturalized citizen of England. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948. It is interesting to note that he was an important figure in modern drama. His works show his concern on modern man's predicament. He experimented with form and brought in the tradition of Greek tragedy by his use of chorus. T.S. Eliot was commissioned to write a play for the Canterbury Festival, and he chose to write on the assassination of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Becket. The play is a verse drama. You can see the definition of verse drama in the PPT on origin and development of the English drama. The play was first staged in 1935 and it was an instant success. The play focuses on an individual struggle against authority. The play is a short two, separated by an interlude. The main characters here are Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury, the priest, the chorus, the four tempters, and the four knights. As the title suggests, the play occurs in and around the Cathedral of Canterbury. It is winter, the month is December, close to the end of 1170, the year of the murder. The four tempters are figments of imagination that disturbed Thomas Becket as he has dared to come to England to face the consequences of bitterness between himself and the king. The four knights remain anonymous in the play, though they are known to be Reginald Fitzhurst, Hugh de Morville, William de Tracy, Richard Le Breton. Last but not the least, the chorus are the center of the play. They, as in the Greek tragedy, serve to expose, predict what is to come. Thus, they set the mood and tone of the play. Not only that, they trust the audience with information that becomes relevant to understand the background of the conflict. Henry II does not appear in the play. It is crucial that we know of him as well. He became the King of England in 1154. Though he ruled for almost 35 years, he had to be in France most of the time to manage his affairs as he served as a vassal to the King of France. Let us understand the meaning of a vassal. In medieval Europe, a vassal is one who provides military assistance to a king in exchange for land. We know that Henry II was a Frenchman and he had many provinces in France under him, like Maine, Normandy, and Anjou. His absence was conspicuous in England. Yet, as a king of England, he wanted to reform and redress the systems that were faulty, especially those pertaining to the church. He desired to bring about a uniform law which would entail the clergy to be tried in the civil court and not in the church court. As a person, he was known to be genial and good-natured, but he was also known for his quick temper. Now about the Archbishop. Archbishop is a respectable position and he is one who has supreme control over the church. Before Thomas Becket became the Archbishop, he was a Chancellor, a title recommended by the King himself. Becket became very popular as he had a lot of administrative control. He was made the Archbishop of Canterbury in 1162 after the Archbishop died. Henry II presumed that once his friend became the Archbishop, he could bring in the changes that he so desired. He wanted to bring the church under the control of the state. Thomas Becket disappointed the king in his expectation. He was no longer a friend to the king, but became loyal to the church. He became completely transformed and pious and prayerful. It was not only the constitutions of Clarendon that was the bone of contention. There was also the coronation of the king's son that brought in more dispute. The king held the coronation ceremony with the Bishop of York at the helm. He was assisted by two other bishops, namely the Bishops of York and Salisbury. The coronation of the king's son, in the absence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, added fuel to the fire. The Archbishop raised his objection, and the bishops were excommunicated. The people represented by the poor woman of Canterbury constitute the chorus. They sense danger and gather in the cathedral and bemoan the arrival of the bishop when peace has not been resolved between the two. The priests are doubtful too about what is in store for the archbishop. Leave him, he arrives. The archbishop is not upset over the moaning of the chorus. He says that they know better. The tempters are actually figments of imaginations who come one by one to make the archbishop relent. The inner dilemma in Becket's mind is raised and resolved in part 1. The first tempter reminds him of his friendship with the king, urging him to renew the bond. He also reminds him of the youthful pleasures of yore. Becket says that he has come 20 years late and physical pleasures do not matter to him anymore. The second tempter tempts him with the title of chancellorship. That way he'll have power and authority. Becket is content with spiritual powers. The third tempter tries to create further animosity. He urges Becket to join with the barons and overthrow the king. The archbishop cannot do that. He says that he does not trust anyone except God. The fourth tempter convinces him to seek martyrdom and also reveals that he was actually seeking martyrdom because he will be glorified. At that instant, Becket realizes his mistake and says that martyrdom is not an accident, it is always the design of God. Part 1 concludes with Becket overcoming temptations. Interlude is a pause between dilemma and surrender. It is the morning of Christmas, and during the Mass, the Archbishop dwells on the subject of peace and martyrdom in his sermon. He not only prepares the congregation, but also himself to face what is to come. In part 2 of the play, the murder is done. It is also a sacrilege. 4 knights have embarked on a journey to England to meet the Archbishop to confront him. It is the 29th of December. They meet the Archbishop in private and accuse him of ingratitude, treason, and breaking allegiance with the king. They also want to have the excommunication of the bishops annulled. Becket says that he cannot do anything about it as the Pope had excommunicated them. In anger, they strike him dead. After which, they address the audience that they murdered Becket for the good of the people. They did so because he was an obstacle in carrying out any welfare measures for the people. The priests are mixed in their opinion regarding the church, whether it has become weak or strong. The chorus, on the other hand, express optimism and hope. They pray to Jesus and to Archbishop. Dear students, I hope you got the gist of the play, Murder in the Cathedral. I shall meet you again here